Javihari. Gopi Janaballabha Jai Giri Varadari Jai Giri Varadari. Yasodanandana Jai Braja Jararanjana Jai Braja Jararanjana. Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janaballabha Jai Giri Varadari Jai Giri Varadari. Gopi Janaballabha Jai Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari. Yasodanandana Jai Braja Jararanjana Jai Braja Jararanjana. Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Gol Premanandi Hari Haribo. Thank you. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. So today we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, and is chapter 9, text. Which text do we have on board? 25. Let's see what the Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this chapter is answers by citing the Lord's version. And it's text 25. Brahmo Vacha, this is Lord Brahma speaking, yeah, to Lord Krishna, Vishnu. Bhagavan Sarvabhutanam Adyaksho Vastito Guham Veda Hi Apratirudenam Prajnena Chikirsitam Brahma Ovacha Bhagavan Sarvabhutanam Adyaksho Vastito Guham Veda Hiya Pratirudena Prajnena Chikirsitam. Gentlemen. Brahma Vacha. Translation word by word by Srila Prabhupada. Brahma Vacha, Lord Brahma said, Bhagavan, O my Lord, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities, Adhyaksha, Director, Avastita, situated, guham, within the heart. Veda, no. He, certainly. Apratiruddhena, without hindrance. Prajnena, Prajnanena, by superintelligence. Chikirsitam, endeavors. Translation with a very nice purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai, Jai Prabhupada. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director. And therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence, without any hindrance whatsoever. Please repeat after me. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence, without any hindrance whatsoever. Purport. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, and as such, He is the supreme director of sanction. The director is not the enjoyer of the fruits of action, for without the Lord's sanction, no one can enjoy. For example, in a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forward this application to the director of drinking. And the director, considering his case, sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. We'll show you a little video afterwards about this, drinking. Similarly, the whole material world is full of many drunkards, in the sense that each and every one of the living entities has something in his mind to enjoy. And everyone desires the fulfillment of his desires very strongly. The Almighty Lord, being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is kind to the Son, fulfills the living entity's desires for his childish satisfaction. With such desires in mind, the living entity does not actually enjoy, but he serves the bodily whims unnecessarily, without profit. The drunkard does not derive any profit out of drinking, but because he has become a servant of the drinking habit and does not wish to get out of it, the merciful Lord gives him all facilities to fulfill such desires. The impersonalists recommend that one should become desireless, and others recommend banishing desires altogether. That is impossible. No one can banish desires altogether, because desiring is the living symptom. Without having desires, a living entity would be dead, which he is not. Therefore, living conditions and desire go together. Perfection of desires may be achieved when one desires to serve the Lord. And the Lord also desires that every living entity banish all personal desires and cooperate with his desires. That is the last instruction of the Bhagavad Gita. Brahmaji agreed to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations in the vacant universe. Oneness with the Lord, therefore, consists of dovetailing one's desires with the desires of the Supreme Lord. That makes for the perfection of all desires. The Lord, as the super soul in the heart of every living being, knows what is in the mind of each living entity, and no one can do anything without the knowledge of the Lord within, by his superior intelligence. The Lord gives everyone the chance to fulfill his desires to the fullest extent, and the resultant reaction is also awarded by the Lord. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Kurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yam Datati Svapadandikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhattavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangalam gayate girim. Yat kripa tamam vande shiguru dinatarinam. By the mercy of spiritual master, a lame man can cross mountains. By his mercy, a blind man can see stars in the sky. And by his mercy, a dumb man like me can speak few words on the Srimad Bhagavatam today. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Tamala Krishna Goswamini Tinamine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Navishesha Navadi Paskara Desatarine. My humble obeisances to all the audience here and online. Thank you for attending this class. Vanchakalpadrubhyascha kripasindubhyeva cha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. When I saw the verse at glance a few days ago, I was in the middle of doing something and I just flipped through and I said, oh, this is a very nice verse, and I didn't bother to prepare on it because it's something that I have a little small realization every morning. I'll repeat the verse again. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the Supreme Director. And therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. That means that the Lord, He sees everything in the heart of all the living entities. It's localized as the Paramatma. And He does not interfere. That's what it says here. Without hindrance. However, He does interfere in the case of the wish of the devotees. The Lord, He knows the program, the plan that we're making, each one of us, every day. This is one of my realizations when in the morning I'm brushing my teeth and I take a shower. I pretty much offer the similar kind of prayer to the Lord. Something similar, my dear Lord, you are in everyone's heart. Please prepare a few souls to meet me today and receive your message. Since I'm Gona Bhakti, I'm preparing my body, clean the body, clean the mind, chant my rounds. And my little prayer is not as pure like Lord Brahma is a pure devotee, but in a certain extent, it's a kind of, otherwise why would I go out and distribute books every day? The secret, sometimes devotees, they ask, what is the secret? It's not a technique. The secret of book distribution, to preach to people, Savai Balam Balinam Chaparisham, is the power given by God, but that power is given by Krishna within our heart first. He empower you, Savai Balam Balinam Chaparisham. But you have to pray for it, ask for it. You pray. That's the secret. When I get out of the car and I put my bag on my shoulder, I'm getting old, almost 60 years old, and my legs, pain in the knees, pain they kick in. People, they say, oh, you look quite young, or you look energetic, you don't look old at all. But, you feel the weight a little bit of the age in the body. And that's another prayer. I of course, I carry less books. And I say, Mukam Karoti Vachalam. By the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master, lame men can cross mountains. And then I feel good. I feel, walking like a young boy. You forget about everything. You forget about the pain. So praying is very important. Here, Lord Brahma is embarking to create the universe. He's the Ahambija Pradapita, the father, the seed-giving father of all the living entities. But first he has to build the house for all of us. And then he invites all the living entities from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu to come and reside in it, and gives us the chance to purify ourselves, to come in contact with his scriptures. Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually from the lips, from the head of Lord Brahma, the four Vedas. He is the giver of this knowledge. He is very much present as the witness, along with the 33 million demigods. They're watching us at every step. Even when you are in the car or in the toilet and doing strange things. We all do strange things sometimes when we are alone. Kids, they do strange things. But, you think, oh, nobody's watching me. I used to steal sweets when I was in the monastery, go in the toilet and eat them. But, demigods are there watching you, watching us. You become aware. So, Lord Brahma, he's learned the secret for his devotional service. He prays. And that's when the Lord, he grants him the tapa, the sound vibration, which it's the sound vibration creates Durga, the universe. Is the beginning of the entanglement in this world. And the same sound vibration is given by the Lord to deliver us. Tapa. Tapasya is the sound that creates the prison house. And the Hare Krishna mantra is the sound to get out of the prison house. Durga means prison. Material world is prison. And the trident, the fork of Durga, it's the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So she keeps pushing us down. We try to get up, get out, try to feel free. We think we are free. They make songs about freedom. birds flying, but we are all in this prison house, material world. So devotees, out of compassion, they go out and preach to give people a chance to deliver themselves. And we give them these books. We give them the holy name. So that's the reason why I didn't prepare for this class. It's a beautiful verse, because it's, as a devotee, we have to understand the secret behind your success. It's prayer. Just like in the Catholic Church, I used to ask to the priest, what can I do to get the favor of Christ? Ask and you shall receive. Just ask for it. People, Vishwambar, how do you manage to get big donations? £50, £100, £30 donation for a book. I ask for it. There is no secret. Ask for it. Ask people. Sometimes they say, how much should I give you? I say £1 million will do. Give $1 million. Only 1 million, no more than that. Sometimes people, they laugh. Then I say, no, give us an idea how much to give. This is a good book. Like the boys, I'm going to show you in a minute, in the pub. I never used to go in the pub before to distribute books, but I do now. I go in all the filthy places. So, and I tell people, just put one hand on your heart, one hand in your pocket, and the Lord in your heart will tell you how much to give. And so it's an adventure. There's a couple, boys, very nice boys. And I tell them, like Prabhupada in the purport says, that how to regulate a drunkard. When I go out, I don't just say books about yoga, meditation, karma. If I'm talking to someone who is half drunk, then I'll say, these books, they regulate your drinking, and you can enjoy your drink. They don't tell you to stop, but, allegretto, nice. You can enjoy your drink, but without getting drunk, and then you get in trouble. I remember when I was a TP in Leicester, there was a couple of boys, drunkard, and outside the temple, I had to bring them in the temple. It was at the temple, it was a program. No, it was at the temple, yeah. They were I was looking from the window at night, we got up, all of us. So these boys, getting kicked on the right, and they were all drunk, these two boys. And then, to get some relief, they turned around and they showed the left side of their body, and then they carried on being kicked. And I said, look at that. The only relief is you stop being kicked on the right and you turn around and then you start to take the beating on the left. So this is the material energy, very cruel. People, they suffer, as a result of indulgence in too much sense gratification. They're kicked by Maya, left and right. And the only break, is when they turn around. That's like we say, what is the happiness in this world? Happiness is none other than a space between two suffering. You are in pain. I remember when I had a COVID, I was very much in pain. And then one day I felt no pain. And then devotee was asking me, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? No pain. But then we think happiness, that is happiness. When you are not in pain, you must be happy. And the poor, innocent souls, they're like that. They don't feel any pain, and people, they're very happy to do their work. I feel so sorry. And then I ask them, how are you? Oh, I'm happy. But they don't know what is happiness, really. So when I present the books, I tell the boys, we help young people also to become free from drugs, from habit of drinking, taking drugs. And how? They learn how to control the mind. Once you control the mind, the intelligence takes over. And the mind controls the senses. The sense controls the habit, the drinking, the object of the senses. So that's how we help people. You may think, oh, these books, then I met one boy, one man. He got a books from another devotee, not from me. But this man, he said, I'm very grateful to the Hare Krishna. I got a books, Bhagavad Gita in my teenage, and I gave up my habit of drinking, my drinking habit. I said, that's amazing. It's a first step, to live in the mode of goodness, to not be tied up by the modes. Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. But there is more. You carry on reading Bhagavad Gita, there will be more. There will be, higher taste. Param drishtva nivartate. Tell people, you don't give up, like Prabhupada says at the end of the purport. You don't give up desires. Desires are there, are bona fide. Carry on holding there. Have as many desires as you wish. Many. Prabhupada is encouraging everyone to have desires. But dovetail your desire in Krishna service. Then Krishna in your heart becomes the director. Like, my prayer in the morning, it's not embarrassing to pray. Sometimes people, they think if you pray means you are weak, means you need help. I tell people, proud people, sometimes when I give them a book, or I try to give them a book, you have to learn how to pray to become a better person. I do it every day. Oh, sometimes I hear, but praying, it's if you pray to God, it means you are weak. It means you need help. But I'm strong. I don't need any help from anyone. I don't need God's help. I know what to do. I know my strength. I trust myself. So people, they look down on prayers. They think it's, what do you call it? It's a feeling of shame. It's for priest people or for monks, for people who don't know how to face the cruelty of this world. It's for people, but actually prayers make strong. Hiranyakashipu prayed to Lord Brahma to become powerful. And Prahlad Maharaj, he prayed, he did the same, but he prayed to Lord Vishnu. As I said, Savai Balam Balinam Chaparisham. By praying you get that power. You get power. You ask the Lord for prayer. That's what it is, a prayer. It's not that, you meek and humble, you glorify God. No, you ask, you please give me power that I can serve you nicely. I become a better person, a good man. We should all stand in front of Krishna and ask, for power to become a good devotee, a good person, a good Mataji, a good devotee, an exemplary person. Ask for it. That asking is a prayer. And it's not humiliating. Krishna will give. He's our Father. He wants the best for us. That's why here, then he becomes the director in your heart, like in the translation. Krishna becomes that he directs. Then here says without any entrance, he directs the heart of the living entities of the conditioned soul. But I a little bit disagree on that. You may say, oh, this is a sacrilege. How can you disagree on the Bhagavatam verse? I'll explain. Yes, it's true that Krishna, he doesn't interfere without any entrance, right? There is a word here. Lord Brahma says, O person of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director. And therefore you are aware of all endeavors. He's aware of all their plans. By your superior intelligence, Param Dhamma, Param Brahman. Krishna is the supreme director, without any hindrance whatsoever. So means it doesn't usually interfere. But I'm sure Prabhupada will be happy for me to say that because I'm quoting him. He told the Tribhuvanat once, I am the source of your good fortune. I prayed to the Lord for you to come to me. So that means Prabhupada prayed and the Lord interfered into the heart of Tribhuvanat Prabhu. When I pray in the morning, and I'll show you what is the evidence, Praman, the Praman in the second video afterwards. I met someone yesterday, a family, this lady, oh, I recognize you. It's often happening this. You know, people, they say, I recognize you. And I never met the lady before. She says, oh, you must be, you are someone famous. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. It's not. She's not the only one. Quite a few people. I've got about maybe 20 or 30 videos of people saying that they've seen me before, but I never met them before. You will see. What I'm thinking, I've been talking to some devotees about this, is that when I pray, Lord Krishna, please send me some sincere souls to take your book. And somehow or another, they're expecting, someone arranged by the providence. You may think, oh, you are so proud, to think of yourself that you are. But it's not. I'm just a postman. I'm not important. I'm not it's not something to boast about, It's any one of you, I'm sure, on Sankirtan Pramanava must have, met people that said, oh, I've been waiting for this, or I've been waiting for someone like you to come, or I think I've seen you somewhere. Right, Pramanava? Sometimes you feel people that they've known you, by the power of their, yeah, there is that, sometimes they dream about devotees, or it's not the Krishna is the director in their heart. And just like when I'm brushing my teeth and I'm taking shower, they're also doing the same thing. They're having breakfast, I'm having breakfast. But those people, they've been tricked by the Lord. He interferes in their heart. Okay, you have to pass urine. Stop on the motorway, use the toilet. And they meet someone like Vishwambar to give them a book. It's all arranged by Krishna. Sankirtan book distribution, it's a spiritual, completely spiritual activity. It cannot be seen as a mundane activity. People who are destined to receive these books, it's because the Lord has been directing them in their heart. Stop here, go shopping today, and then they meet you, any of you. If you don't do the work, then another devotee will do it. Like Krishna said, you just fight to Arjuna. If you don't do it, somebody else will kill for me. So we're going to show these couple of, they're about 90s, 1.5 minutes altogether. Does anybody? Oh, you. This is that we'll show first the two boys about the drinking, that, and they take a book. They were a little bit drunk. Oh, do you need a mic? No, it should be okay. Yeah, you can turn off the light. I mean, this is all related to the class. It's about, what Prabhupada says in the purport. Yeah, this one first, yeah. You can turn off the light if you want, and just sit here.
My name is David. I'm a man of positive everything. I've met a real good man today called Raphael.
Raphael is my name, yeah.
He's introduced us to this wonderful piece. And we've introduced him to the holy water. He's a great man, and we're ready to combat everything and make this world great.
He's a good boy. He gave me a tenner. He gave me a kiss when he took a book. Now he's going to stop drinking.
No, never stop. Never stop.
Okay, give me a kiss on the cheek.
No.
On the cheek.
On the lips. Sorry. No kiss.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
No kiss.
It's like a son.
Read this great piece.
Thank you very much.
It's
God
amazing.
bless you.
God bless.
Now here on the other
Here
side,
we have Josh.
Josh.
Hello, my name is Josh.
Yeah, he also got a book, and he's very close to spiritual life,
and
to God.
himself. Yeah,
Yes.
God.
And
I am the son of the devil.
No, no, ban him. Throw him in the river. Help me throw him in the river now.
yes.
He goes in the river. He must.
Anyway, they're nice boys, and they gave a donation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See, the meaning of it's, I was preaching to them, you can read this book, it will be your guide, to your habit. Not too much, not too little. I don't tell them. In the beginning, he was so drawn, a little bit drawn that he hugged me and he kissed me on the cheek. Said, oh, thank you, how much should I give? He gave £10 donation for the book. And, they go home with somebody and he promised to read the book. And these books, they regulate the senses of the people. I meet a lot of people, sometimes they have habit of drugs, and I tell them to read the Bhagavad Gita, and it helps them. So, the second one is about, people thinking that they know me.
Something.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
Something.
This is, what's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie, nice That's to meet you
Nice
today,
to
Charlie.
meet
She's
you
actually,
too.
she believes in mindfulness. Every night she does meditation.
We both do.
Oh, God bless you.
Yes.
And what was, when you saw me, you said I had a...
Yeah, a recognisable face. Maybe someone famous.
Oh,
We were drawn to each other.
thank you very much. Anyway, read this book. It's a good book about karma, meditation, yoga. Quite a few people, they're saying recently that they recognize me. But maybe because they've seen me around in the car park or something. But I don't think we've ever met before.
Never.
But anyway, she's got a nice family. Charlie,
Say hi, everyone.
say hi. There's a nice family, the daddy, beautiful children. God bless you.
Bless
Make
you.
sure you read the book, yeah?
We will.
So this is the thing, sometimes, we go out and meet people, they somehow or another they think, oh, I recognize you. Like Simon Cowell. he came out of the car, he got attracted by the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, I recognize you. You must be someone famous. There are quite a few people, they said, I said, I'm not famous, I'm man of God. And there's another boy. Anyway, I've got quite a few videos, but it's really an adventure. People, when you dedicate in a surrendered way to preaching, especially book distribution, you go out, you will find, mysterious. It's a mysterious journey. People appear to be, that they've known you for ages. They found an old friend. That's what it is. Somehow or another, the Krishna in their heart, it's making them recognizing the messenger. That's what it is, really. And devotees, but that's what Ramananda Roy says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya said, who is famous? Who has the greatest reputation? The devotees. Whoever preach the signs of the gospel of Krishna, he becomes famous. And not just in this world, in the three worlds, like Shivram Swami was giving a class last time here. Beautiful class about, it's interesting, that after class he came running towards me. I was right on the back. It was all about the fame. And he said he was eating this, were you there on that day? Eating the fruit. He said, Vishwambar, you will become famous. This was about 6-7 months ago. You are famous. You will become famous in the eyes of Lord Chaitanya. And it's quite. And he was saying, Ramananda Roy told the Lord Chaitanya, a Vaishnava devotee of the Lord who preach, he becomes famous, eternally in the eyes of the spiritual world. But anyway, we're trying to do a little something. So there is any points, any questions or anything you would like to ask? Yes. You need a microphone?
My question is, how do we know when we're running away from what the Lord is telling us? And when do we know we're actually listening to Him?
Well, how do we know that we are running away from the directions that the Lord is giving us? You will know when you fall in the ditch. When you fall in the ditch and you are in trouble, that means something went wrong. So then you have to ask yourself, am I doing what the Lord wants me to do? So you have to always ask yourself, am I doing what the sadhu says or the shastra says, the guru says? We always have that guidance. That's how we know. But every time we are in trouble means like the child. You tell the child, don't put the hand in the fire. But then he puts the hand in the fire, he gets burned, and he cries, he feels the pain. So that pain is good, because that pain makes him to become a bit more rational next time. The next time he sees the fire, he doesn't put the hand in it. He's afraid of it. So if the Lord is giving you something, a direction, and then you take another direction, you get burned, then you are afraid to go in that way again because you have suffered. So suffering, it's a great realization. They're always born in the field of suffering. Suffering brings you close to God, brings you back. So it's good. It's good, that you disobeyed. You learn from pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means experience. The Lord says, okay, you don't want to hear me, the Shabda Brahman? Go and experience pratyaksha, suffering. Pratyaksha is also good, it's purifying. And then is Hanuman. Hanuman means logic and reason, like we are doing today. Then you have the choice whether to believe it or not in what I'm saying is true or false. That's, it's you to judge, and it's you have to reason. But that takes a long time. That means bhavanam jamanam mante, by gyan, by knowledge. It takes many lifetimes, to become realized. Suffering, it doesn't take you long, because, you can always go back to the Shabda Brahman. So that's the most intelligent devotees, when he hears once and then he doesn't make any mistake, and you believe in the words of the Bhagavatam, in the words of the Vaishnava, in the words of the Guru, without falling down, into disobedience. So that's how you check yourself. Is that okay? You had something, yeah.
So, Prabhuji, when you give out books to someone, right? And if they do not read the books, not only not read, they disrespect the book, let's say Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah.
And they disrespect it, throw it in the bin or step on it or whatever. Right? It's just like giving charity to someone and they use that charity to take drugs. So would we get the karma for it, or how do you see that?
No, you don't get the karma. If they take the book, they touch it, they see the picture, they get purified. If they give you a donation, they get purified. That's all purification. If they trying to be means, they're not ready yet. You think, as a Sankirtan devotee that, everyone should become pure devotee, everyone should take a book. No. That's the mentality of the neophyte, the book district. Not everyone is ready. So in the beginning, you have to become, if you're too sinful, you become exorcised. You know what it means, exorcised by the Bhagavad Gita? Like that. This is it's like a rabbit. When he sees the sun, he puts the paws or put the head in the sun. Just because you can't face the light doesn't mean that the giver of the light he has to get the karma. So people, they try in the bed. Then next time they meet devotees, they take the book again, and then they touch it, then they start to read, and then they abandon it. Then next time, you see, it's a process of purification. This is all Sankirtan. Next time they take the book, they read it, and they carry on reading it, and then they put it away. And then next time, they take a book, they read it, and they become a devotee. So it's that's why Harinam is there. People, when you go in Harinam, you give them a glimpse of the spiritual world. People, they get the very first touch of purity. They become purified. They become exorcised. And then Krishna, he's got his own way how to massage the consciousness of the conditioned soul. You can't, will you give, how old is your daughter?
She's
12. When she was 1, would you give her a big feast? Big bread feast, and you wouldn't do that because she gets sick. So a neophyte person, you can't expect, to drink, the nectar of Krishna consciousness in one go. No, they have to grow up spiritually until to the point they're ready and mature to become a devotee like you do, like you did. Does it make sense to you? So Sankirtan doesn't mean just giving out a book. You can even go out and stand, like Prabhuji goes on Harinam with a tilak, and you stand there and people, they look at you. They have a darshan of a man from a spiritual world. They become purified. People, they become purified by looking at your tilak, by looking, even you don't have to do anything. They remember something. The heart becomes purified. Krishna, the director in their heart, will give them the first dose of purification. And then they hear the holy name, more. And then they get a book, they get a prasadam. And that's how we change the world. It's a gradual thing. You can't expect for a child, to eat big feast. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Once I was reading this story recently, during Prabhupada's time, Sankirtan devotees were getting sick. And one devotee was thinking, maybe it's because they're shaking people's hands when they stop them. So they asked Prabhupada, they said, Prabhupada, the Sankirtan devotees are shaking people's hands, and we're thinking maybe they're getting sick because they're touching people. And Prabhupada said, he said, no, that's not possible, because when you're out on book distribution, Lord Chaitanya is protecting the Sankirtan devotee. So you're protected by Lord Chaitanya. So there's many things you can get away with when you're out on book distribution that you can't get away with when you're in a temple.
Yeah.
Like if you take the Bhagavad Gita in the toilet, you'll get immediate reaction. But sometimes when you're in book distribution, you've got no choice. You have to go to the toilet, and you have to take the books in the toilet. But Lord Chaitanya is protecting you from that. I remember once I was on book distribution, I stopped one man, and he was eating a hamburger.
Yeah.
And I gave him a Bhagavad Gita. And
So licking his finger.
in one hand, he had a hamburger in the other hand, and it was like this. And then, so I asked for the donation. And then before I knew anything, he'd put that Bhagavad Gita on top of the bin and a hamburger on top of the Bhagavad Gita. And I was like, I said, you can't do that. And so he took it off, to get the money out.
Yeah.
So, but there's no reaction.
No.
For me, because you're just sincerely trying to
Yes.
serve the instruction of your spiritual master.
No reaction for that.
There's no. You actually, when you're out in book distribution, you're actually protected, and I feel that when I'm out in Sankirtan, I feel Krishna's protecting me.
Yeah.
Lord Chaitanya is protecting me. It's the best place to be. If you want to be protected, that's the best. To go out and Harinam on book distribution, go out and preach. That's the best place to be.
There's nothing you could do wrong.
Yeah.
It's completely spiritual from the beginning to an end. I mean, I'm not a staunch devotee. I don't have a good sadhana. I don't have good. But when I go out, I feel purified. It's very purifying, powerful activity. And you're giving people a chance to get close to Krishna. That's the ultimate act of benefit to humanity. What is it? Service to humanity. This is my favorite saint, Saint Francis. ISKCON has stolen this quote. Service to humanity is the rent we pay to stay in this world. It's actually from Saint Francis.
That's pretty cool. What if your book distribution target, what if they kind of get attracted to this whole thing for the kind of wrong reasons? Because it's happened to me, like, maybe initially not, they're interested in the philosophy, but then I'm like explaining, and then they're like, can I have your number? Can I take you out for a coffee? And I'm like, I'm a nun, like I don't do that. But then, they insist, and I'm like, maybe this person can still get some effect by just like linking up with a devotee.
You are
I
correct.
give them my number. Yeah, so then they text me. I don't do this. So is that?
No, that's correct. That's what we read. Prabhupada says in the purport, people, they have a desires. You can't stop it. They desire to have you. Well, is the attraction of the opposite sex. Desire to go out with you. So if you engage them to dovetail that desire in Krishna consciousness, you like a hook, You hook them to you, but you bring them, then you release them, to Krishna.
How do you do that?
How do you do that? You have to be strong, nun. First of all, you have to be free from sensual desire, you says. You have to be very strong, good sadhana, and don't, I remember when I was temple president in Leicester, there was a brahmacharini, very strong, on Sangita, and then we lost her. She, she became attached to a boy, and that's it. It happened to another brahmachari. Sometimes you have to be strong. You have to say, that's why the prayer. You asked me how you do that. You pray, my dear Lord, protect me today. Like Pramana was saying, that there's so many dangers, so many surrounded by kali, sinful activities, sharks, people who want to enjoy you, not the book. But you have to be strong. You have to be the fisher lady, get the fish but without getting wet. You don't get attached to anybody. And don't give, you could give the number, but then you give to the to the cultivation program, Krishna Wisdom. Pass their number. Actually, you take their numbers. Yeah, I don't give you a number. You take their. If he's a boy, you can understand the intention. If the intention is, it's you and not the book. Then you take their number and you pass it on to a brahmachari. to Taruna Krishna. Will talk to them. He will invite them to the temple and prasad with them. Hare Krishna.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
That
Srila
makes sense.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama